When we think of color in nature, it's mostly in the brightness of day. Flowers, butterflies, the shifting greens of grass, the sway of leaves. Because color, as we know it, is light bouncing off the world, finding its way back to our eyes. But once daylight fades, nature has another type of color. Not reflected, but created. Light made by life itself. A light so faint that it's visible only in complete darkness. And so rare that it's visible only for a few nights in a year. I am chasing this light in the rainforests of the Western Ghats, on the outskirts of the Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary in Goa. I'm in Goa again, and it's raining again, but I'm not really complaining because that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm in fact not too far away from the laterite plateau that I was in a couple of weeks ago, where I was photographing saw-scale vipers and scorpions. Manjeet and I are here looking for a tree, and we're looking for a very special kind of tree, and there's maybe 2 or 3 of them, but I'm looking for one where I can make a good image of something that I found last time, and it looked really amazing when I saw it. So this trip, I'm essentially focusing all my time on making maybe 2 or 3 of those images of that really epic subject. So this is one of the 2 trees we found. I'm told that this bark here will have glowing bioluminescent fungi as soon as it gets dark, and the rain is adding to how much of the glow is going to be. Last time I was in Goa, I found a really beautiful patch of these fungi. I was able to make some good shots of it, but what I felt was that it's hard to make a photo that gives the sense of place when we're photographing at pitch darkness. I think it's easier, or let me rephrase that. I think I want to give a sense of place to this tree and the fungi growing on it. So I do want some ambient light, I do want some evening light, I do want some open whites in the sky to show where we are, how big the tree is, how much of the tree has been occupied by the fungi. And I'm not sure I'll be able to do one exposure. So let's see. Using my still tripod after a really long time. Shooting with my R5 on the 1435. I'm going to be shooting closer to 14mm than 35. And I also have a fisheye, but I want to see what the perspective looks like. So that's kind of the perspective I have here. I don't think in any perspective I'm going to get the full tree, even at 14mm, unless I pull out the fisheye. So not sure how to go about it. Let's see what this yields. Let's see what this yields in terms of results, and yeah, let's see where it goes. So, as it turns out, I do need the fisheye to get the fuller perspective, and yeah, looks like this is the best I can make without vignetting. And right now, I just protect the camera and wait for the rain to stop and for it to get dark enough. And as you can see, during the evening, it looks like any other tree. It looks like any of the trees we've been walking around. Have absolutely no clue of it having any bioluminescent fungi on it. But yeah, hopefully when it does get darker, and it is getting dark, we'll be able to see the tree glow. So yeah, let's see. So I just got one shot at, what's it now, 7:10, and I didn't expect much, but there is one really bright patch that is blown. So this gives me hope, but I'm not confident because there's no way in which I can stop the raindrop from falling on the lens as I'm shooting. It's still drizzling. So yeah, let's see. I'm happy with the perspective though, and let's give it a few more minutes and see how it goes. So I'm getting some shots, but I'm not really happy because I don't think the glow is prominent enough to define the shape of the tree bark. And for that it has to get darker, and the darker it gets, we lose more of the sky. So let's see what else I can do with it.
This is the best shot I made to show the fungi as day transitions to night.
So at the end of a long day, I think there's a couple of shots I'm happy with. My camera bore the brunt of the weather, and it's a good learning for me to use the fisheye. I'm now thinking if I should extend my stay in Goa and maybe spend more time here and give myself 3 or 4 days while the tree is still here and the fungus is still here. Let's see how that goes. I'm also not carrying my laptop on this trip, so I really can't go back and look at these images on the bigger screen. But I think there are a few images that I'm kind of happy with. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
As the night progressed, I made some shots I was happy with. Some that didn't go as planned, and some that worked out accidentally, like this exposure that turned out to be one of my favorites of that evening, thanks to another group of photographers who were using their torches in the background while an exposure was on. In retrospect, these images are all good, but it doesn't show the transition, and I am a greedy photographer, so I think we both know that I'll be coming back here soon.
So for the first time in 3 days, I have had the opportunity, thanks to the weather gods, to step out in the afternoon and going back to the same path where I photographed the tree with the fungus on its barks, and I'm looking forward to photographing that transition from day to night today. Let's see how that goes about. So just as we got here, it started pouring, which is a good thing because the rain is what brings the fungus out, and the rain is what brings the bioluminescence out from whatever I've read. And it's a bad thing because we can't bring our cameras out. So this is the constant conundrum that we've lived all these days. So yeah, Kuldeep tells me that the tree we need to find is some distance away. So it's a longish trek in the rain, and that's what we are here for. So Kuldeep and I evaluated a few trees down this path, and we're back to the one I photographed the other day because I think this is the best. And the most fascinating aspect of bioluminescence for me is the transition between day to night, because at around 4:30, this is any other tree in the jungle. You could not tell it apart from any other tree. And as it gets dark and as the light begins to fade, the bark is going to glow a beautiful shade of fluorescent green. And I want to show the transition as best as I can. And I think a good way to go about it for me is through a time lapse. I'm going to shoot a series of photos 30 seconds apart and stitch them together to make a video. I'm going to shoot these photos over a 2-hour period. The reason I need to do a time lapse and not a video is that I don't have a video camera that's powerful enough to capture the low intensity glow with which this fungi glows. So I think a time lapse is going to be the best. It's around 4:30 now, and I'll start shooting a time lapse from 6:15 to 8:15 to show us all the transition from day to night. About 5:15 now, we're mostly set up. Under this umbrella is a wide angle lens pointing up at the tree, which is why it needs protection from the rain right now. And my macro lens is on the other side. It's pointing just at the bark because that's where the bioluminescence is going to be the brightest. As of now, the rain is a very, very mild drizzle, and we need that to be that way for the next maybe 3.5, 4 hours. And such is hope. And we are here and braving the weather to shoot the bioluminescence on this tree because, as Kapil Dev told the journalists back in '83, what else we here for? So even though it's drizzling a bit, we've started both cameras because it's what, 6:25 now, and I believe that we won't have enough of a transition to show if we wait any longer. I remember the day before yesterday when I was here, around 7 we could see a very prominent glow. And I also remember that the transition was quite swift. I don't remember exactly when it was, but in the matter of about 10 minutes, it went from being brown to having a very, very strong tinge of green. Don't want to miss that. And I'm just erring on the safer side and starting earlier. Let's see how this pans out. Fingers crossed. Hopefully this works all right. Hopefully the rain holds. Let's see how it pans out. So it's about 10 p.m. now and we're heading back. I'll probably go back now, get some dinner, and I'm really hoping I have the energy for at least an hour more in the field to look at some more exciting things. And let's hope I have it in me. And I'm also not sure what kind of time lapse I've got. One of the downsides of not carrying a laptop to a trip. So let's see.
Thankfully, the time lapses turned out alright. I could have done a few things better, but I'm happy with what I've got.
So it's 11:20, just had dinner and just a little bit energy to maybe do one photo shoot. And I'm at a place where I'm seeing again something for the first time. It's not exactly bioluminescence, but it is something that looks spectacular in the dark, and it's the sporing of fungi. Sporing is a way in which fungi propagate further. So what happens is every few minutes, thousands or maybe even millions of spores are produced and released into the air. The wind carries them far away and they find a substrate and new fungi grow on it. And from what I told, there's a very, very small chance of, rather the percentage of success through sporing is very low. So it's probably like thousands or hundreds of thousands to 1. And you know the drill. It's raining now. I'll just wait for the rain to subside a bit. And once it does, I'll start getting to my shots.
The next morning, as soon as I got a break from the rain, I headed out to see the fungi in daylight. Bracket fungi like these grow on fallen logs and stumps, breaking them down slowly. They are nature's recyclers, slowly turning wood back into soil. I absolutely love the texture on these fungi, even more so when it contrasts against the green moss. So I spent a fair bit of time in the morning here. Late evening, I stepped out with Manjit again.
So we're not too far away from our homestay today, and at the moment Manjit's looking for an interesting tree. Much like yesterday, we know where these trees are, but it's been pouring so much that we're a little worried the rain may have done a bit of harm to the subject we're looking for. So I'm following Manjit as he scouts for these trees and looks for the subject that we want to shoot on them. Let's see how it goes. We're at this brilliant tree that looks fairly ordinary and inconspicuous at the moment, but it has bioluminescent mushroom on it. Now yesterday I photographed bioluminescent fungi. Today I want to do the same with the bioluminescent mushroom. Now these mushrooms look like any other mushroom you've seen during the day, but at night they glow in a really deep shade of fluorescent green. Can't wait for it to get dark. And much like yesterday, I want to photograph them with a fair sense of space. So I want to show the tree that they're on and maybe get a really wide perspective of it. And for that, again, since the lens is pointing upwards, I need the rain to stop. So waiting for the rain to stop while I set myself up at this tree to photograph these mushrooms. 6:45 right now, I've set up my shot, and I don't think I have the most stellar perspective because the number of mushrooms are much lower than what I saw the last time around. Maybe the really heavy rains have washed some of them away. Maybe we saw some snails feeding on them. And that's the thing about these mushrooms. So little is known of them except the fact that they belong to the Mycena genus. In fact, somebody from here is studying them. They're probably new to science. They're being described. But as far as the shot's concerned, I've set my shot up here. This is the 15mm macro lens. Really hard to set up. It's fully manual. And I've got the best perspective that this frame allows. Now I'm waiting for it to get dark, and as of now the mushrooms just appear white even in a 30-second exposure. So maybe it needs to get much darker. So we're going to hang around here till it gets dark. The big learning I had from last time is to protect the front of the lens. So I'm just going to put the cover right now and then go back and wait for the rain to stop entirely and wait for it to get dark. The mushrooms are there, but the one thing I hadn't accounted for the last time I was here is that there's a street light, and the last time we were here this street light wasn't functional, and turns out that it's now fixed. And beautiful as it looks, this light wasn't here last time, and it's casting a lot of bright light on the mushroom. So I don't know if they'll actually glow or not. It's 7:15 now. Around this time yesterday we got some great shots of the fungi. Obviously the mushroom are smaller and they glow with lesser intensity. I'm hoping that in some time it will be dark enough for us to be able to see the mushroom. Otherwise we'll need to think of a plan B. So just as I was setting up my shot, it started pouring, and I might have made one shot that I'm happy with, but I think in retrospect that light from the temple may have been a blessing because it gave some ambient lighting on the leaves and the tree bark. I still need to go check what my shots are like, and yeah, let's see what we make. So it's almost midnight, and thankfully the rain has stopped for a bit, and I've been spending the last hour or so getting safe shots of just macro close-ups of the fungi. They look stellar. I've not seen these, and I've not shot this like this before, and I think I'm happy with one shot or a set of shots I've made. Might make a composite of them with a clump of mushrooms and have every one of them in focus in different shots. But thankful that the rain held up for a bit, and thankful that we saw some mushrooms which looked unlikely at the start of the day. So it's my last day and most likely my last session in Goa, and we are a really strange bunch, us nature photographers. Until yesterday, I was cribbing about how much rain there has been, and today I'm a little unhappy about how sunny it's been, because in the afternoon I realized that all of those bioluminescent mushrooms which I wanted to photograph this evening are gone. So I'm back to where the trees are, the trees with fungi on their barks, and I'm hoping to photograph something different. There's a lot of wildlife around. There's saw-scaled vipers, there are hump-nosed pit vipers. We can go on herping and we'll find a few snakes, maybe we'll find geckos, maybe some insects, but I'm keen on photographing bioluminescence. So what I'll probably do is go back to one of the trees we saw on the first day and see if I can get some interesting perspectives. I have some thoughts in mind, I have some ideas. Let's see what we make of it. आसपास चेक कर लूँ एक बार, कुछ पिट वाइपर तो या हम्प-नोज तो कुछ है नहीं बैठने के लिए, है ना, बैठ तो सकता हूँ. I've got some interesting company, probably to give me feedback on the perspectives I'm shooting. Would love to check in with them later. I think I've made some interesting shots. This is by far the brightest tree I've seen, so I'm glad I was able to find it on my last day. I've made a few shots of just the bark, I've made a few exposures of the sky and the leaves, hoping to composite them all together, but this by far has been the brightest tree, and you have to see the images to believe it. Heading back now, and it's been a fantastic trip so far.
After spending 5 days here, I'm still looking for answers on why these fungi and mushrooms glow. We know that certain molecules inside them react with oxygen, and instead of giving off heat, they give off light. But there are no clear answers on what purpose this glow serves. Some believe that it helps the fungi spread spores by drawing in insects at night. Others think that it may serve as a warning, protecting them from being eaten. And some suggest that it's simply a byproduct of their metabolism. The truth is, there's still much more we don't know about these almost otherworldly life forms than we do. And that makes Omkar's work so important. He's describing one of these mushrooms that is neuroscience. A big thank you to him for that, and for all the help on this trip. Thanks also to Kuldeep and Manjit from Rugaya, who led me to the trees where bioluminescence was found. And if you've enjoyed this video, you might also like my earlier one from Goa, in which I explore the laterite plateau nearby.